Hello, hello, beautiful people, mi gente bella. Welcome to another edition of Santana Says, where we talk about everything from roadblocks to relationships, everything between, and the overall journey of life. I am excited as always to bring you another edition of the show, but also I'm always excited when we have a guest, you know what I'm saying? Somebody that can enrich the conversation.
I love it.
But yes, and we are in the middle of our series, so we are in the Take Me to School, you know what I'm saying? Put me on, exactly, like teach me a little something. And so I am happy that you are joining that.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I know there's a lot that you have to contribute. We met in a very interesting way, and I always love supporting, especially Black-owned businesses,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? And a woman at that. Listen
Same.
here, Miss Ma'am. Yes.
Same.
So I love that. So, like, I've definitely been a fan, but I would love for you to introduce yourself, tell people a little bit about you, and we're going to keep it moving from there.
Okay. Well, I am Stephany. Stephany Van to be exact. I have 4 children, which is
Oh, yeah,
a little
that's-
bit insane. They're 23.
Wow.
I'm dating myself, but it's okay. 19.
You look flawless, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
6 and 4.
Wow.
So I'm a mom. I'm also an entrepreneur. I own my
Yep.
own business. I've tried my hand in many different businesses, but what kind of stuck was my aesthetics business because it kind of falls in line with things that I'm very passionate about, like holistic healing.
Yes.
So it gives me a chance to kind of make my own things, learn more about what I feel helps me to thrive, helps other people to thrive, especially in America and how our food is so toxic and all these things. So that's fun for me.
Yes. I love that.
But after my 6-year-old was diagnosed with autism, it kind of led me down another road of wanting to expound on that and learning how that works and what to offer there. So that's another exciting thing. And I'm also married, so you know.
Oh, yeah. So you wear many hats.
I have a lot of hats. I mean, before we even got here, my son forgot his key. He's 19. So it's always fun,
Exactly.
Right.
You still gotta help out though. That's the thing. They always gonna be the babies at the end of the day.
Every time.
Yeah, exactly.
They
They
call me
just-
for everything.
That part. They're just bigger babies now. Man, okay. So that's a range.
It's a lot of different
Yes. But then but what is it like also like, so starting out with motherhood, like knowing that you have like the older and then the younger, are they a good help to you now? Are you able to see that? Or like, what does
I'm
that
like
look
really a boy mom.
Okay.
So like all 3 of my oldest children
Yep.
are boys.
Okay.
And then the girl is the youngest.
Aw.
So boys aren't that helpful.
Okay.
They're not. They're not helpful.
It would have been easier with girls. Yep.
But it probably falls in line with what I needed at the time because
Okay.
I had my son young, so I'm a little rough around the edges. You can kind of deal with boys a little differently than girls. So that is kind of like a busy house. I'm not really looking for help. I'm a firm believer, like I don't want to stifle my children's growth by making them take on responsibilities.
Oh, let's go.
Or, helping with choices that I've made, even though they are great boys. So
Yeah.
if I need them to jump in, like really need them, I gotta really need them. Then,
Yeah, exactly. They can.
then they're totally ready for that. But they're a blessing. They're both athletes. The oldest 2, my son who's autistic, is amazing. He was nonverbal. He's now verbal.
Wow.
Like
Come
full
on.
verbal. Where he was diagnosed with the lowest level of autism, level 3, where it's like he's going to need some substantial support. He's not going to be able to probably even go to the bathroom without wearing a diaper. All these things,
Wow.
and now he does it all.
Come on.
Like all of
See
it.
what I'm saying?
It's fully verbal, fully
Exactly.
potty goes to the bathroom at night without waking anybody up.
Right.
Like in a general population classroom where he has a
Yeah.
pair, so he's not in special ed. He's actually
Right.
with like the general population, and I had to fight really hard for that. So
Right.
I'm just super proud of him.
Yes,
and just super proud of
absolutely.
all of them. They'll be
Yeah.
hooping this year in Cleveland. They have 2.
Come on.
Both of them play basketball. The oldest 2 on scholarship, so
Come
I'll be
on.
wearing my half jersey. I guess like
Yes.
the Kelsey mom and see where that goes.
Yeah.
But it's exciting.
That is though.
It
I'm
is.
about
It's
to
a
say,
lot.
yeah, see your baby shine like
Yeah,
that.
it's a lot. And then I also have 2 bonus daughters, so I don't want to forget them either. My husband has 2 children that are from a previous relationship, so it's a range. We're the Brady Bunch. We got 3 and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But but I love that because that's exciting for me. So
Yeah.
those are the kind of relationships that give me hope. You know what I'm saying? So as a single lady out here, you know what I'm saying? you were giving me all of it. Like, I love seeing that. I really
Yeah.
do love seeing that blend. So, like, I'm assuming maybe because y'all were, like, already committed that maybe that was easier, or, like, was there bumps, or, like, how did y'all find y'all groove?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't easy.
Okay.
It's not easy. Blending
Yeah.
a family is not easy. One, because you come from a different background.
Yeah, okay.
So, like, me and my husband are totally different people. We come
Yep.
from totally different backgrounds. I'm like a super OCD planner. I need everything to be in line.
Lay it out, yeah.
And I won't say control, but I like to be in the know. So,
Oh, yeah. Feel that,
what are
though.
we? Yeah, like what are we doing?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
We can't
Lay
just
that
wing
out.
this. It's too many people depending on us, and then also getting to know the children. Luckily,
Yeah.
when I came into the picture, for his girls, they were younger, so they were like 3 and 6, 3 and 7.
Right.
But my oldest child at the time was 16. And he's
okay.
a boy, and
Oh,
I've
yeah.
never deviated from just
Yep.
me, his little brother, and that was it. So he
Yep.
actually called us like the Three Musketeers.
Right.
So when I kind of brought a fourth member in, he was like, who was this? And,
Exactly.
and what is he talking about? And why is he telling me what to do? And
Yeah. I
we
feel
don't
that.
roll like this. And, you
This
know,
ain't
so
what we
it was
do.
a difficult transition, but everything with time.
Yeah.
You know, like grace,
Yep.
understanding, like communication is key.
Right.
Having the conversations with my boys to explain what I just said as far as being from different backgrounds,
Yep.
taking the opportunity to grow in your relational, emotional intelligence by getting to know someone
Right.
and their outlook and how they perceive certain things. So it's
Exactly.
kind of helped them to grow into like their manhood a little bit and just
Yeah.
be like, okay, let me read the room. You
Right.
know, how can I be a help and not take it personally?
Right.
It was definitely a change. And then of course, you know, you deal with
Right.
the mom,
Yeah.
the other family,
Yes.
the girls trying to navigate, oh, do I call you mom or can I, or how do you feel? Or, you know, those type of things, bringing them in and the boys are like, you know,
Right.
why are they, who are these people?
Yeah.
Why are we trying to make space for them?
Right.
But now I think everyone's used to it, especially the younger children. They just love the family dynamic.
Yeah.
And everyone's coming full circle with just being blended. It's still
Right.
hard, but it's happening.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Wait, and that's fascinating because on my end, like I said, I'm still navigating. So we gonna wait until the right partner comes around, or
Yeah.
else, because if I'm gonna do that, like you said, I want somebody that's gonna be able to commit
Yeah.
in that way and be able to do it.
Yeah.
But that's interesting that you brought up the mother thing because I did feel bad for my babies. I have all the girls.
Okay.
So like all girls on my side. So
Yeah,
child, yep.
that's
So
fun.
we got exactly.
You're like,
You
what?
are-
Everybody got my attitude?
No, amen, amen. Especially that oldest one.
Right,
She
you be
be
like,
on
you
it.
like to challenge me. Got
Every
it.
time. That part. And so like definitely that, but that mother thing did come up because like their father did get in a new relationship. And so I feel bad because I feel like the oldest two, not so much. They're like, nah, she be asking us. No, I think it was she wanted them to call her mother.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. And I didn't want, so I assured them that you don't have to.
Yeah.
Like if there's something, but I could tell the youngest kind of wanted to.
But she felt
And
bad.
Yes, she did.
She didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Yes.
The oldest one with my husband's daughter wanted to. The youngest
Okay.
one is closer to her mom, so she wasn't so adamant about that. But
Right.
you know, she's still young, so she's like, "Oh, is my sister comfortable doing it?" And then I
Exactly.
kind of feel like I want to do it,
Right.
But I think that her mom wasn't so keen on it,
Yeah.
so she just kind of veered away from it.
Got
I'm like,
it.
"Look, you guys don't have to feel any pressure from
Nope.
me. I'm
Yep.
just another person here to support you."
Amen.
So you call me Miss Stephany, you
Yep.
call me Mom if you want, that's fine.
Whatever
Either
is-
one works.
Yep.
Miss Stephany stuck, which is fine with me.
Oh, cute.
Just like my kids also don't feel comfortable calling my husband dad because they're
Yeah.
so old. They're like, it's not my dad. So
Right, exactly.
they
Yeah,
give him
yeah.
the respect of Mr. Paul. I still try to put the Mr. in front because I still want there to be some authority there.
Yes,
Like
and I love that.
it's not your peer. So you
Yeah,
have to
we
learn
do
how
need
to
that,
be
though.
very respectful, right? So
Yes.
that's why I put it in there because some people are like, weird. If you're not calling him dad, you're not calling him by his first name.
Right.
And I don't think you want to call him by his last name. So
Right.
you know, go
Absolutely.
with that. So that was a thing. But I believe like any situation when you come into it and it's new, you
Yep.
have to come into it with humility. Like you
yes.
can't come in feeling like, oh, well, you gonna respect me and respect
Yeah.
what I do. You have to learn a person, and
Absolutely.
then that's what builds the trust.
Yep.
And now we can have a relationship because now I'm gonna open up to you because I trust you.
Correct.
You
Love
can't
that.
push this authoritative relationship
No.
before having that trust build.
Come on.
And a lot of times that's the issue that happens in blended families. Like you
Yeah.
come into the door like, oh, you got boys, I'm gonna show them I'm a man, or oh, you got girls, y'all not about to be running your dad rampant and taking over
Yeah.
my time. It's more like, how do I get to know you? How can I help?
Yeah.
Where can I feed you in maybe in an area someone else can't? Come with humility in order to build that relationship, and then everything else is easier to navigate because you're not a dictator, right?
No,
and
not
you
at all.
you really care about what makes them tick. They feel that, like, oh, tell me about your day. Oh, what happened? Well, no, really? You like
Right.
this? You like that? And they're just like, oh.
You know what? Yeah, exactly.
She kind of likes me, just me, she wants to know about me, so that helps.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
love that because agreed though, like really all this is doing is adding more supportive people to the
Yeah.
playing field. So like I love that like providing that so that they can see it that way because this
Yeah.
is not it's not a bad thing and we're not trying to replace anyone.
No.
And that's what I love because I think unfortunately too that played into the guild. It's like it's not that like I mean your mama's still here. You know what I'm saying? Very much we're all here, but we are all people that help you in different ways. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's all it is.
Different
and we are
roles.
growing it. Correct.
Yeah, and
So
I
love
run
that.
buffer for the girls sometimes because my husband is like, so so the girls will call me at times when they feel like it's a difficult conversation to be had, like, hey, so you
Good
think
job.
you can talk to? Because I was thinking, and I was like,
You're right.
I'll run interference for you first, okay?
Yes,
So you know how
exactly.
that is, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. And then also, like, do you find, okay, so I know you got multiple babies. So, like, finding time for your husband, is that hard?
Oh, my
Or do y'all
gosh.
have sacred time? Or, yeah, does it get,
No, we really don't. We're bad at that. So I'm not going to front like, oh,
Okay,
yeah, we
yeah.
got all together and then we do date night. That's amazing. It really is the hardest
Yeah,
part,
yeah.
especially for me. And I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you, it's me, really.
Okay.
As far as the quality time.
Right.
Because I'm like a go person.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, what do you want
Right.
to do right now after these kids have touched me all day and I made dinner and someone just threw up in the corner and Zay's feet stink and I don't know what to do, like all these different things. Watch this, don't touch that, don't do this, especially with my son. Hey, why are we a horse right now? Wait, do it in the other room. You know what I mean? So it is very difficult. And that's actually probably the hardest part.
Yeah.
Because I was a single mom for so long.
Yeah.
I'm like, who needs more attention? Y'all need more attention? Like,
right. Which you already getting? Yeah.
sir,
Yep.
tomorrow maybe? And then it's like, you spend more time with the kids than, no, I love you all equally, but
Yes.
it's like, you're draining me. So
Exactly.
we're working really hard on that because our schedules are crazy. When he's working, I'm not working. And when
Oh,
I'm working,
dang.
he's not working. So
Gotcha.
we're just on opposite schedules, not collectively.
Yep.
Because we like someone to be available for both
That's
the
good.
younger children instead of like, if
Yeah.
I'm working a 9 to 5, he's working a 9 to 5. Him having special needs. Of course, I've gotten those calls like,
Right.
hey, he's having a meltdown today, or today's not the best day.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to just drop my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So
that's
that
not-
does make it easier, but it makes it harder on the relationship. But as I've learned, as your kids get older, your time with your spouse or your significant other, it allows more time for that.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I can only imagine. Because even as like you said, as a single mom, but seeing them even get older, I still got more time even for me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm just seeing it. Like I'm
Yeah.
starting to manage more
Yeah.
versus having to intercede over every single
When you're
thing.
younger, it's physical. When they're
Yeah.
older, it is mental. Because you're like, oh, my 2 boys just told me about when the oldest was in high school, how they would watch me pull all the way back into the driveway and sneak everybody out through the front door.
I know they did it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now we're revealing that. Thanks, y'all.
Now y'all feel comfortable to tell me that the way I felt was right, but y'all made me think I was crazy.
Ooh, the gaslighting is crazy. But that's my brother, though. I'm telling you, he will watch my mama and then go right back home after school. I'm like, boy, not you had that woman drive you to the school.
Look.
You wasn't going to go.
The oldest had next level. He had my ID to my iPhone identity. So he was watching my location.
No. Oh, they getting slick with it nowadays. See, that's why I don't like technology. Like, stop playing with me.
I said,
Oh, dang. Okay. Okay.
I
They
didn't
sophisticated.
stand a chance.
Yeah,
Just
I
glad
mean,
you
yeah,
guys
when they
are
got all
okay.
that on lock. Wow. Oh, so they know.
They know.
Yeah, but the boys are smart. I mean, they're using their talents for more than just, okay.
They are.
Wow. But that's, yeah. But speaking of that, though, you definitely are saying they have a range of needs. I mean, you got like different genders, different backgrounds, but
Yes.
you also do have a special needs child.
And then
so-
my 19-year-old is also ADHD.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess it is considered special needs.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Um,
but
So that was my practice.
wow.
Because it definitely was like, with a young Black boy in the school district that he was in, predominantly Caucasian,
Right.
learning how to navigate that for him,
Yeah.
and then just trying to be like, I don't want to go in here going off,
Yeah.
but y'all not about to play in my face
Amen.
and about my child.
Let's go.
Learning what your rights are, because with public schools, he went to a really good public school. That's why I moved in that neighborhood. But
Yep.
if you can't accommodate, a lot of people don't know, then they have to pay for a school that can.
Ooh.
So when you start
Let me
using
find out.
verbiage like that, like, oh, I understand, it's too much. Oh, you can't accommodate. That's fine. This is the school that I want to send him to. It's $100,000. The district can pay for it. It should be able to accommodate his needs. Oh, now everyone can accommodate. Oh, what? You have a new idea? You do too? Oh, great. I love it.
That's crazy.
I'm so glad
I
it
love
worked
that.
out.
Yeah, exactly. We couldn't have started here, but that's fine.
right.
Yeah, we
That's fine.
found
I
our
guess
way.
you said, let's see what she knows. Let's see how we can get off,
Yeah.
you know?
Wow. And how did you? Like, were you educating yourself on your own? Did you have people?
It was just so much, because you come up with a new problem every day, or a new challenge every day. I don't
Right,
say
yeah,
problem,
yeah.
but it's like, what? I had one teacher tell him, he was 10. I don't like the way he looks at me. It's intimidating.
Excuse? Okay.
I said,
Okay.
that's what we're not going to do. We are not going to do that. We're not going to peg him as a violent, scary Black child.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
absolutely not. Yep.
If you can't manage a 10-year-old stare, which really he's probably thinking about eating cookies or something because
Yeah, really.
it's ADHD.
Exactly.
Then you don't need to be in this profession. And let's find someone who can, because if I have to come up here for this,
Right.
it got to the point I said, do not talk to my son about anything until you have me on speaker before you talk about whatever the incident was.
Absolutely.
And when we got to that place, they knew me really well. We became friends. They
Yeah,
loved it.
exactly.
Hey, Miss P.
Yeah, exactly. Nice to
Like
see
your
you.
shoes.
Correct.
Good to
Nice
see
to see you again. For real.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But agreed. And I love that, because you were definitely not about to stand for like that kind
no.
of mistreatment. Absolutely. And so it helped for you to be active in that. But also, I just find it amazing though that they really counted out your baby, talking about he wasn't gonna do anything. And like here we are though. Like
He's
so I'm
doing amazing. He did a year last year in Georgia playing basketball. He's here this year playing, looking to go D1, so he's kind of been
Wow.
playing JUCO. But for right, either way, you're getting free education.
Yeah, at
so
the
that's
end
what
of
I'm
the
here for. I know
day.
he doesn't care about that. I do.
Yeah.
He just cares about, I'm gonna go pro. Okay, well, just keep going.
Let's
going to
start one
school
year.
too.
Yeah, one
just
step
keep going to
at a
school,
time.
please.
Exactly.
Another year scholarship. We're here. So,
Exactly.
I love it.
Yes, and let's at
But
least get the degree. Yeah.
What helped him tremendously, I think, and boosted his confidence was COVID.
really?
Which is so surprising.
What? This is the first time I'm getting a good COVID. So
Look, when people were struggling during
Yeah.
COVID, like the interaction, the lack of, social events, things like that,
yeah.
school was online. And he was like, oh, yeah, because it took away a bunch of distractions.
Okay.
And it allowed him to kind of be on his own schedule,
Got it.
which he knew what he needed to get done, but it allowed him to do it in a time where he didn't feel stuck. Like, I have
Okay.
to sit here. I can't talk. He's in his robe. I was calling him Hugh Hefner for the longest time. You just gonna wear this robe in
Right.
front of your teachers every day on camera. He's like, they like it. They look forward to it. I'm like, I bet they do. And to love him is, if you know him, is to love him. So it's crazy.
Right.
But he did about a year and a half at home, going to
Okay.
school, and his grades were amazing. Before that, terrible. Like, what is the problem?
Yeah.
Enough to be eligible, but not like
Right.
COVID, straight A's. Came out of COVID senior year, did it in school, straight A's.
Wow.
So he was doing so good. It kind of like reset. I think it kind of gave him a confidence boost, especially because I'm always there like, hey, what you doing?
Yeah.
Put your phone up. Pay attention. And then just keep it moving. So I think it just kind of redirected him. It taught him a little bit how to redirect itself.
I
So
love
it
that.
helped a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that makes me shout out to I think we had Ashley B, childhood advocate on here, who also does homeschooling.
Oh.
So shout out to the people that do, because it did make me think of that.
I want to do it, but I don't know if my
Oh.
patience is there.
No, amen. Because I'm not saying I'm doing it multiple and in different grade levels. That's a lot.
Yeah, and
you
it
would be a
sounds so
full-time
good.
teacher.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yes, exactly. But it does take a lot of patience.
It
No, but
does.
I'm with you though. So trust and believe. I am a fan, for those who can do it. But I'm like, I don't know that I'm the one.
it's like a special gifting for those who do that.
Oh yeah,
Like,
blessings on you.
for real. Like,
Exactly.
you got a little extra sprinkle in
Yeah,
yours.
just for you, for real.
I'm like, huh?
No.
Bus, it's the bus, guys.
Exactly. Y'all ready? All right. That part.
Yeah,
but I am
absolutely.
with you on that, because the other thing that you mentioned was you're a go-getter. You know what I'm saying? You a go, go, go. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I'm like that as well. I don't know. I've definitely been asked, would you know what to do if you just had nothing going on? And I don't have the answer to that
I don't know
because
what that is.
yeah, exactly. Like that's always been the
We
setup.
gonna create
Exactly.
something.
We gonna find
I'm
something to do.
making pies for everyone or something
Exactly.
because I am the host of every
Yeah.
holiday.
Oh yeah,
my-
hostess with the mostest.
Look, my
Okay.
husband's like, "You're ADHD." I was like, neurodivergency is genetic.
Yeah,
It's very
exactly.
possible.
Right. That's me then.
But hey, it's a superpower.
Yes, exactly. But then also like was it just always instilled? Like as a kid, were you always active?
I
You know
was
what I mean?
I am the oldest child.
Okay.
So because of that, you almost take on a parental role. I think
Oh,
for
yeah.
most of the firstborns, you're just kind of like
Yep.
who your parents depend on. Get your sister.
Exactly. You got that.
So that was probably a major part. I
Mm-hmm.
also played basketball, so I was really big on team sports. That kind of helped, but you have your roles, you have your responsibilities. It gives you a sense of purpose.
Absolutely,
Younger,
it
so I
does.
think that helped. But I also had my son very young. So like I had my oldest child at 17,
Okay.
and I got married at 17.
Wow.
Right, and then I moved to California with him. He was 5 weeks. I was still 17. All the way to Cali to be with my husband at the time, their father,
Okay.
who was a Marine.
Wow. Oh wow.
He was a year older than me. We met in high school, and then
Okay.
I moved there to be with him. We were already married, and I did about a year and a half out in Cali.
Okay.
So that really grew me up because I had nobody. I mean, between deploying and going on these things that he had for the military, I also had nobody. And I had a baby, and he was 5 weeks old.
Right.
Like, what am I about to do? I mean, I got to keep him alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
yeah.
that was like where I think being responsible and like having no choice but to make it came into play.
Ooh.
That's when it came into play.
Wow. And I could only imagine. And the thing is, you were also married to someone who was in the military.
Who was in the military, who also had his own set of problems. I mean, you're so young, you don't know who you are at 17.
Yeah.
And then he's 18. He was adopted.
Okay.
Came from an abusive situation too. He did was in a foster home for like 3 years, different foster homes for 3 years.
Right.
So he had a point to prove. That's why he went Marine, of course.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, the top of the top.
a lot of people in the military, and I don't know if people know this, like substance abuse. It's a lot of drinking because you can't smoke, but
Yeah.
you can drink, and everyone's
Okay.
drunk. And then, of course, you got Marines who are the biggest and baddest. So it's
they are.
always a
Yeah.
challenge. It's always an ego thing.
Yep.
So that was a very hard situation to navigate just because we're young, one. So how dumb are you at 17 for real?
Yeah,
With
right.
and you're
Trying to
18 years old and you got a baby and you
Yeah.
gotta pay car notes and you gotta feed kids, and it was insane. It was
Yeah.
insane. So that was a whole nother situation. But I still had to grow up. Like you either sink or swim.
Yeah.
I
what
mean,
you gonna do? Yeah.
Sinking ain't an option.
No, not at
So
all.
It is what it is.
Wow. But and that's an incredible thing to navigate, you know what I mean, to figure that out. But I do love to know that that's where it took you, because like you said, it could have easily not, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It could have been easily the thing that broke, you know what I'm saying, like something within you or, made you feel which nobody would have faulted you for because you were a baby raising a baby, you know what I'm saying, at the time. So and you still needed to discover things about yourself in the midst of trying to care for another life. Like that's a lot to do and also be a wife at the same time.
It is, but you know what? It's God.
Yeah.
Like
Ooh.
it always is Him. Like anything you do with your own strength, you're gonna burn out.
Yep.
But with His strength, you won't.
Right.
And that's a lot of like the prayers of your grandmothers,
Yes.
your prayers, the prayers of your mom that you don't even know. You're like,
Right.
those things cover you. Like
Yeah.
that employs Him to do more in your life at times. So
Come
I
on.
just think there was a certain level of just covering and grace because the situation could have went so left.
Oh yeah.
So
Absolutely.
left, and here we are.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? So didn't
Yes.
feel good at the time. Trust.
Right.
You're like, oh yeah, no, I ain't gonna make it, but
Yeah.
you will.
Yeah, and you did.
Absolutely will. Yep, and
exactly.
did.
Right.
And
right.
did,
And we here. That is so good. And is that something you share with your current husband too? Like
My current husband.
yes.
You know what? My mom says this about me too. I don't know. I think my brain has They say you do like things that were difficult or traumatic, you push away after
Yeah.
you're done
Oh,
with
and
it.
compartmentalize,
So like
yep.
that's never something at the forefront. But like I guess as I grow with him and even my kids, because early on, especially with my firstborn, that's your practice child. You be like, sorry, I dropped you. Try to do better, because you're learning with them. He's like, you never show emotion, which made me feel disconnected from you because it was like business all the time. Because I think my coping mechanism was, look, we got stuff to take care of, like the crying, whining. I need this. We got to do this. But I didn't give the nurturing part. And that's why I think it's so important to have two parents if you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it doesn't allow a mom to be as nurturing as you'd like. Like, they look at me now with the little kids and they're like, who are you?
Who is
I'm
this
like,
lady?
here's some snacks on my purse in church. They was like, you would never.
You're right.
You are like, if you don't get up and get your stuff together, we ain't got time for this. Put your shoes on. You know, that was me early on. But you got to think, well, I was 22 when he was 5.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm like, I'm just trying to get to my $10 hour job so we can have a roof over our head. Because you know, I'm not getting no help. And then, of course, my first marriage was it was volatile. So it was like, sometimes you're here, sometimes you're not. I'm the one who has to keep the job, you know, all of those things. So it was difficult, but I had a wonderful grandmother. I had God on my side. I had a wonderful mom. At the time, my dad played a part in it here and there, you know, how that goes. But it was just a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I hear that.
Yeah.
And I'm also curious, like, does he share, like, your beliefs, like, faith beliefs as well? Yes.
Yes, he is saved. So yeah. But you know, everybody's walk is different.
Right.
So for me, I'm just like in it right now. Not right now, but like now on. Right.
Yes.
Like at first it was like, I think you try to fit God into your lifestyle. But you should be fitting other things into your lifestyle with God. Like he should be at the forefront and then everything else is secondary.
Yes.
So like you find yourself like, God, if you just give me money and riches, and he's just like, but you don't even want to store over what I gave you though. Like, like you just made the dumbest decision and you asked me to save you, but I already told you not to do it and you decided to touch it. Now, yes, there's grace, but then there comes a point when it's like your own kids, right? Say your oldest daughter, you know not to put such in the refrigerator. You've been doing this for 5 years.
Yeah.
So now here you go, acting stupid, like you don't know any better.
Right.
And then you want me to be like, oh, no, I'm not taking your phone. Like, no, you're getting your phone snatched. You know what I mean? It's the same. I feel like with him, like, look, I gave you some grace and mercy. I want you to learn. So here, I'm about to leave you out here for a minute.
Yeah, no, I got you. I'm sorry. Yeah,
You know?
tough love, but I need that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's true. I love that. And being able to see it as the parenting that it is. And so, yeah. And of course, I know everybody probably got their different beliefs, like you said. You know what I'm saying?
Like
and all
my
that.
husband is totally a Christian, but we just have different walks.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So sometimes he's just like, turn another cheek. I'm not doing all that.
Exactly.
I'm like, look, I feel you because I kind of want to run up on him too. But we ain't trying to block our blessings. Come on. You know,
let's
so
do
it's
that.
just, it's helping me grow in ways. And the marriage is a sanctification process. I say that all the time when people be like, I want to get married and be happy. I'm like, well, then don't get married.
Oh.
If you want to get married to be happy, do not get married. If you want to be married and be happy, look, don't get married. I know that sounds bad, but it's like, if you look at it from the point of view of like Christ loving the church, one, Christ would be the head, would be the husband, and then the church would be the wife, but that causes dying to self, right? So what Christ do for us, he died for us, right? So that means the husband will have to die for us. Well, today's culture is not really
about that.
The husband dying or a man dying. He's like, I'm a king. You kind of cater to me. Some people, not everyone. Right. And then us being submissive not being a doormat, meaning like able to be led. It's difficult when you have two broken people who's trying to figure out their life because it still starts from when you're a kid. If you see people raising kids a certain way or you were raised a certain way where maybe, you know, the mother always served the dad, but he never put in or she's only doing the child rearing and he's not. That's not the way that it was built. So it's just trying to find the healthiest way through being led through Christ. So that's how it kind of is with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love that because at the end of the day, because of that, so whatever your belief system may be, it's important to find a partner, you know what I'm saying, that at least like has it or also at least supports the one you have either way, like one or the other. Yeah. But definitely like getting with somebody that doesn't even, like I know that probably wouldn't have been helpful for you, especially given where you are, because your faith is very important.
Yeah. Yeah, I would never probably marry anyone that wasn't at least Christian. But then, you know, people could say that and you don't really know that until you
are in that situation.
Or until you see their fruits.
That's true.
So like I said, marital counseling is not enough before premarital counseling. I feel like people should have to like live with a couple for a year to just see all of the random things that you're like, what? This is a problem. It really is. So as far as having the same beliefs, I think it's very important to understand what marriage is. And marriage is like, are you willing to sacrifice? Like when
Right.
you get married, you're like, better or for worse. People hear that, but I'm like, what if this man starts losing his mind?
Yeah, for real.
Are you going to be there?
Sure.
Do you want to be there? What if you never get what you want out of it? Does that mean you leave? Because you made a covenant, right? So you made this contractual agreement, not with him, but like with God.
Yeah.
Depending, like I said, on your belief system, that's like, well, you can only leave if he cheats. Oh, you don't like that he's always broke? You can't leave for that. Sorry.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
It's how it never works like that. Maybe you should, come to me about your lack and I'll show you and provide, because he says my piece. You know what I mean? And like he'll always provide and I'm always going to be here. So we can't look to our spouses for that. So I think you want someone who's going to be willing to run the race with you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, who's willing to be like, I really don't like you for real, but we said we was doing this for real.
Exactly. We signed up for this.
We know that the bigger picture is the covering that we provide these 6 kids versus this single or this broken home, because I just don't like the fact that you can't do this and I'd rather be doing that. And we've grown at a different pace, right? Because you're going to grow. And they say every 7 years you become a new person.
Okay.
Because you change and your beliefs change, or the way you execute things change, or your needs change. Like, I'm not going to need what I needed at 21 at 41.
Absolutely
or
not.
at 61.
True.
I'm like, I'm not wearing heels no more.
This is different.
You know what I mean? I don't need them red bottoms anymore. Where's my Nikes?
Exactly.
So things change,
Yeah. Well, I love that though. Because yes, I do things that things are constantly like ever evolving, but I like even putting that little number on it because it's true. And maybe even looking back, 7 years ago, me
You're
is not
definitely
the
not
same.
the same. You were like, no, I don't even like that outfit anymore.
I wouldn't
Like,
wear
did I
it.
wear that? Were my brows that thin?
You're right. Yeah.
Did I have black liner on my lips?
Who is that girl?
Did I have that? It was fire, right? Like, I was looking great, guys.
Yo, I'm telling you, exactly. No, because I even look back on my little Facebook statuses from back in the day. Who was I talking to? You know what I mean? Like, what was I doing? Using that like a little diary.
Was that a
stop.
twerk? It was.
It was.
Let me delete that. I forgot it was there. You know what I mean?
Image was different. Yes. Okay, but run that race. I love that. So like somebody that's gonna run it with you. Because either way we in this, you know what I mean? We all gonna face different things, but somebody that's gonna run it with you. I love that.
Yep.
See, and that's why I'm glad you're bringing that perspective, because we've had some. I think we've had like a different like variety of couples.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had a lot of married. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Yeah.
I'm positive that I'm not. So I
Yeah.
love like what you're, enriching us with and letting us know about that. But also because at the same time you're also married, while also like wearing the hats of mom and all that other things. But like you said, you're also an entrepreneur out here.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you're doing the thing.
Yeah.
So even that, like, what was your walk towards entrepreneurship?
Oh my gosh. I kind of got forced.
Really?
Which was another contention point in marriage, right? Okay. So with my son who's 6, I was not, when I got married to my husband, we weren't planning to have more children.
Okay.
I was done. I couldn't wait to be done. Because
exactly.
I started at 17. I'm ready to take it.
Yeah,
I
we
want to live my life. Where's my 1-bedroom condo?
Right.
So, and I like to travel. So, I was just ready to be done working. I was working 16-hour days for the VA. I worked for the VA for years.
Wow. Okay.
So when I met him, I was working in the lab for the VA for years. And I would work like with the kids being older, 6 a.m. to like 8 p.m. sometimes for the extra money, living in this neighborhood where the houses was so expensive. So my kids could be in this school district, because their father ended up becoming an addict and he was no longer in the picture, no child support ever. So it was just me. And then I met my husband, who surprisingly I knew from middle school.
Really?
Like, we went to the same middle school for 1 year.
Wow.
But we never interacted in a way of liking each other.
Yeah, exactly. You just
So when I met him, when he found me through my cousin, because they happened to go to school, and I commented on a Facebook post, and then he recognized the last name, which is very my last name, maiden name is Leaper, so it's very nobody has that name.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Like, I know if you know Stephany Leaper, it's me.
Yeah.
So he's like,
wow.
oh my gosh, I can't believe you still here. It's been years. What have you been up to? I never see you out. Are you in Cleveland? That kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, I'm still here. Just,
Right. Yeah,
I'm being a mom for real.
Exactly.
And he was like, oh, we should go out one day. And I'm like, maybe.
I'll think about it.
Sorta. But I'm like, let me know, because he was talking about going out with some other people we went to school with. I said, let me know when y'all set it up. I'll come through. But then it was really like, well, all right. And then a week later, he was like, me and you. I'm like, I guess.
If I have to.
I guess. But we ended up doing that. And so with that, having my son,
Yep.
who wasn't expected. So
Yeah.
3 months into marriage, I ended up pregnant. Now, the doctor said told me I couldn't have any more kids. So this was like,
Wow. Exactly.
so I'm like, I'm really pregnant out here. And then he has no boys.
Okay.
So then it was a boy, which I don't believe in abortion, but I'm just going to keep it a buck. Like, who's not thinking about that when you really didn't want more children at the time?
you weren't planning
I'm like, but it's
at
just
all.
not an option. So let's go ahead and ride this out.
Right.
And then end up finding out that I was going to lose that baby at like 20 weeks.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I went in to do the anatomy check and they came back. They looking, and they're like, we'll be back. And I'm like,
Don't do that.
okay,
to me.
you know what I mean? Whatever. So the ultrasound, I'm going to get the doctor, the doctor comes in like, you got 3 options. I'm like, well, what? It's like, you can do progesterone and, progesterone suppositories to try to thicken your cervix.
Okay.
Or we can do a cerclage.
Oh.
So, you know what a cerclage is?
I don't.
Cerclage is basically like, those twisty ties you see, the plastic ties, they sew that through your cervix
Wow.
to try to hold the baby in.
Oh, no. Oh, man.
Or you can do nothing. She's like, but if you go home today, I'm almost sure you'll have that baby in a week and the baby's going to die.
Oh, my God.
And I was just like, well, you hit me with a lot all of a sudden.
Yes,
She's like,
ma'am.
yeah, because we're going to have to admit you right now. So I'm like, well, wait a minute.
Give me a second to
And
bring.
before we do, we got to do an amniocentesis to make sure you're not rejecting the baby because of something else. I'm like, so now y'all about to stick this needle? Hold on.
Yeah, that's
And I'm just like, well, I guess let's do it then.
right. I mean, right.
Let's just do it. So I ended up
getting
the cerclage, being on bed rest. I couldn't walk more than 1/10 of a mile.
What?
Who lives like this? Now I got 2 boys playing sports.
Yeah.
Wasn't planning on having a baby. I don't feel like getting fat. No. Here we are, and I'm about to lose this baby. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it. And then she's like, we just got to make it. 28 weeks is the sweet spot. Then you should be good. But I ended up, this is how God worked. I promise you, I can't make this up.
Right.
Went 36 weeks, which was ideal. That's when they take the cerclage out.
Yep, because that's full term. Yeah.
Yep, 36 weeks. Whenever you had a baby, then it's cool. Ended up carrying him till 38 and a half weeks.
Wow.
Without the 2 weeks of the cerclage. And then had him, Shimmy was born 3 days after my birthday.
Wow.
So, that's his nickname, Shimmy. No, I told him myself. But but that was like crazy. So then I'm like, what are we about to do with this little boy? Because I'm not sending him to daycare. But at the time, my job was steady.
Right.
His was under the table. He was working, he was an independent contractor. But, under the table, you get paid every day.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not ready to stay at home. I don't want to do this anymore. And he was like, well, you know how men are. That's that marriage thing where you got to be like, okay, I submit. He like, I ain't about to be at home all day. I'm like, well, why don't you work part-time? I'll work full-time. He like, absolutely not. I'm not about to, you know how men can be. That's the growth too, where I'm the breadwinner and you're not about to have me and I'm not about to be broke, so whatever. I ended up quitting the VA.
Okay.
Because they wouldn't let me work from home anymore.
Oh, wow.
And then I went full throttle into my own business.
Wow.
Like I went to school, legit went to school, pregnant with my daughter.
Wow.
Who was another surprise.
Yep. Oh, yeah. We love those.
Pregnant with my daughter, full throttle esthetician school, then started my own business. I've been running my own business for 4 years now.
Come on.
Yeah. So it gives me the flexibility for my family that I didn't think I needed at the time. I was angry about it and like, wow, this is not what I want. I want to live my dreams. Why do I always have to sacrifice for everyone? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and here I go, you wanted this baby. I didn't want this baby.
Right.
I mean, not to say it like that. I love my kids, but I'm like, this was not part of my plan. I had a plan. We had a whole plan.
Yep, that I laid out.
I already laid it out. And God be like, and we don't, God's like, I don't care about your plans.
We don't care.
I don't know if you know this, but I don't care enough about your plans over my plans. He cares about our plans, but not over his plans.
Correct.
So that in itself was crazy. And then I was also told that I couldn't have any more children without getting a cerclage before I reached that far. So they usually do it between like 12 weeks before the baby gets too heavy and your cervix gets too thin.
Yeah, wow.
And I was like, I just don't believe that I need it.
Yeah.
And I told my doctor, like, I'm not comfortable. And he was like, well, then don't.
Right.
The one doctor told me, well, you're going to lose that baby, my daughter. And I ended up going with what I felt like the Holy Spirit told me to do.
Absolutely.
And I carried her to 39 weeks and had to be induced.
See what I'm saying?
With no cerclage.
Oh my gosh, but they'll be out here, man. These doctors will definitely take you in places. Come on, be making you make decisions. And I've talked about that with way too many women.
I don't like that. That's why I actually thought about becoming a doula, because you need an advocate. You're like, wait a minute.
do.
Even with getting induced with my daughter due to my age.
Correct.
I wish that was the worst decision I made, because my labor was horrible. She wasn't breathing because she never got a break through labor. You know, when you're
exactly.
breaking in between contractions, that's giving you a break and the baby a break.
Correct.
But when they induce you, you're just contracting and contracting.
Right.
And so much pain. That's why it's horrible. And now she had like all the fluid pushed in her lungs, all the blood vessels burst in her eyes.
No, baby.
And it was like a lot. But anyway.
Yeah,
that was.
But that's what I'm saying. Those are unfortunately the parts that happen. You know what I'm saying?
Your own body as a woman. Like, you know your body better than a doctor's textbook.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't use discernment, or like obviously they have medical knowledge or whatever. Put it all together though.
Yeah.
You know?
That part though, because I think the only other thing too though that we're clear here is that in your case you were also paying attention to your insight though. You know what I'm saying? And of course in this case it was guided by the Holy Spirit. I don't know y'all heard that. But for others, you know, your insight, it's tap into your, you know, whatever's for you. But agreeably though, you knew. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day though, you knew. And then that's the only thing too is that I just don't like, and I mean, because I even have a friend, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was just having this conversation with her, and she is a nurse. And they were telling her what she needed to do too. And it's like, she is a fellow medical professional. You know what I'm saying? She out here with y'all.
They don't understand the agenda.
Come on now.
Like, it's money. You know, C-sections, they like, it looks like you need a C-section because we're going to bill the hell out of your insurance.
Exactly.
And it costs more to have a C-section than to have a baby naturally. So at the end of the day, private hospitals and, you know, they want the money.
Yeah.
So they're like, we don't care about you as a person. You're a number. Unfortunately, and I hate to say it, like, no doctors care. I'm not saying that.
Not at all.
I'm just saying, like, I think they might even be pushed, like, the agenda's been pushed on them. They're not even realizing I'm pushing this agenda too.
And I'm operating in this. Exactly.
Because this is what I've been kind of like engulfed in. You know what I mean? So
conditioned.
That's one of those things too.
Absolutely. But I love that. Yeah, exactly. And just, you know, just considering all of those things. I mean, because we've also set up out here. Oh, and then you know what? And shout out to Javon to like, because we had a midwife on here who also talked about, you know, the horrors, childbirth and all that. But we've also talked about the police, and same there. There are some great police officers, but there are also systems that are set up, and that's what we talk about. You know what I mean?
And more so in others. Where you're like, hey, this is not let's not go to the sundown state town and ask the police to help us. You know what I mean?
Stand your ground. Yeah,
like,
good on
we're not gonna do that.
We're gonna veer past. Exactly.
How much gas I got in the tank?
Yeah. But for real, exactly.
No, really, it's a real thing.
Yeah. But so because of that, so that was your like what is it? Not the traditional path towards entrepreneurship. Then you know what I'm saying? Like
because it was still like a little side hustle. Like, so I started doing that on top of my hours at work, where I was just doing lashes, and then of course, like any government entity, they find out that you making money and we ain't taxed it yet.
Exactly. Like,
oh no,
let me get that.
You want to do lashes? You got to be an esthetician, ma'am. You're not doing this, and we ain't getting no money out of y'all. So that's when I'm like, well, if I want to take this business to the next level, I'm gonna have to get my esthetician's license, and that's what led me down to actually getting my license for that. And I love it. I actually love what I do more because it gives me a chance to meet people like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure, we did meet like that.
That is how we met. And just, you have this weird intimate relationship with your clients, the ones you see all the time. Because there's like a trust established. Like, I'm really putting stuff in your eyes. I could stab you in the throat right now if I wanted to. You know, you're trusting me with that, and then you're learning that I'm not gonna do it. You know, but and just being open to the dialogue. I mean, you're laying there someone's laying there on the table for at least an hour to 2 hours.
Right, you're right.
So you got a lot to talk about in that time, and you get to know a person, and then you learn so much. I love that I'm able to glean from people from so many different backgrounds. I got like so many different types of clients that I'm like, oh, you do what?
Exactly.
Okay, what's that like? You know, so and then you meet people and network.
Right.
And I've met like some of my best friends actually doing lashes, which is crazy.
Exactly.
Because you never see it that way.
No.
You just never see it that way. People would put me in positions to be blessed simply because of our relationship through that.
Exactly.
You know, they're like, oh, girl, come here. Or I know somebody I want you to meet. Or, you know, and I'm like, bet. I love it. So, and you're able to pour into them too. You see it. You see
Yes.
the evolution of your clients too, them growing.
Right. Yep.
You know, so
Oh, I love that. Exactly.
like-
And then I'm smiling for two reasons. So one is that, like, well, I love everything you're saying. I agree. But then it's like, as a therapist, same. You know what I'm saying? So of course I see clients and it's that. But it's funny that you say that but that's always how I felt. I felt like in the service industry, period. That's what you do too. Y'all are some therapists up in here also. You know what I'm saying?
It's so funny you said that. One of my clients was like, "Oh, I need to tell you something." I'm like, "What?" She was like, "I was watching something. I can't remember what it was. You can get this certificate to give to be almost like a therapist, not like a therapist, but
Right.
it trains you in ways to handle situations
There
and
you
things
go.
like that because people talk to you about something."
Yeah.
She's like, "You know, you can get a certificate, girl." I guess I don't know how long the program was. She's like, "I think you should do it because I'll be telling you everything. And you be giving me good advice. and
Right.
I feel like you can even build for more if you do it."
Yeah.
I'm like, "You funny."
Right,
I'm like,
but let me
I
think
would
about that
love
though.
it.
Yeah, exactly. But like
You
you
might
said,
be on to something, you know?
but it is true though, and that's why I love too that like a lot of people in the service. Well, and actually even yesterday, like when I was at the airport, they had like warning signs about like human trafficking, like in there. I do love when I see it. I forgot to take a picture of it actually, but I love because on the show that's also my thing. You know what I mean? All the violence prevention, and that's why I love. Like you are definitely
Yeah.
someone that stands against. If anything is pouring in, like you said, pouring into folks, you're more support all day, every day.
Yeah.
But as a result, yes, you are a touch point, and a good one at that. And so like, and for some, that is all they go to. They don't always make it to those other places,
Yeah.
but they will come to you.
They
You know what I'm
will.
saying?
They will, and then people are looking. So I had two very weird incidents for me.
Yep.
My door wasn't locked. I don't know if they were just looking, but I had one woman, she was in distress, and she just walked in crying. And I'm like, "What is going on?" She's like, she was on something, but she was like, "I don't have no shoes." And she had no shoes on. She was like, "And he just keeps beating me." And it was all these things. And I'm like, "Well, no, don't call the police. I tried to call my brother, but I couldn't." So we ended up I had to walk her downstairs because one year, in the lobby so we could wait on the police. I'm like, "You have to call the police if something's
Yeah.
going on."
Need
And
you,
then called her brother for her, but they are looking for help. And that
Yeah.
kind of like where I'm located too, because it's like a multifaceted building. It's in a medical building. You got people who are there for therapy as well.
Yeah.
And then it's also like an adult daycare for special needs there as well. So it's just so many different people coming
Yeah.
in and out. But you do see people who are in need or in need of help.
Right.
So
And
it's
that's
a
what,
lot.
And that's a very like humbling opportunity for you to be able to like provide that assistance. You know what I'm saying? In that.
Yep.
Ooh, but I love. But so it's a very rewarding experience, is what I'm hearing.
is.
But it's still low key new in some aspects.
Yeah.
In some. Like I mean, you 4 years. You know what I mean? You don't got your feet in
It
there.
is still new. It's very new.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
cool though. Do you know where you want to like take it?
I
because
don't
of that?
know where I want to
Okay.
take that. I do know where I want to go though.
Okay.
So like with my son being autistic, it just, I don't know. It's like this fire for helping people anyway.
Yes.
So now that you have that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, they're not supposed to do that. This is how it's supposed to go.
Right.
I want to take it in that direction. Like I'll still keep this because this is my honestly main source of income, and I still love it, right?
Absolutely.
But when I'm talking about deep dive into
Yeah.
something that I feel it would be like purposeful work, which I'm not saying this isn't, I want to be an advocate for autistic children.
Okay.
And then I want to provide a space, an educational space where people understand and then have their children understand how
Let's
it
go.
works. Even from educational, like educators that I see, sometimes they still don't know. I'm
No.
like, wait,
Yeah, you didn't.
you did look at did you look at the IEPs? Don't
Yeah.
call me because he's breaking crayons. He's ADHD and autistic.
Yeah,
That's gonna happen. Please just
Natural part.
just take the crayons away.
Exactly. That's it.
Eye level. It's almost like, are you watching what makes the kids tick? Do you see what's the frustration?
Right.
Because there's always something behind it, and they
Yeah.
teach you so much. So I want
Love that.
a playland, kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese, but
Okay.
for special needs children. That's for them. Like it's made for you. Now, can other children come? Yeah, but
You're right.
but
it's
the
meant for them.
audience, this is just for y'all.
Yeah.
So y'all have a
is
special
who it's
place.
geared
And
toward,
in
yep.
that, I want to develop a nutritionist that comes in and talks to the parents about what to feed your children, what to avoid. Like, don't feed them just anything. Understand how that works on their brains.
Yep. Wow.
People to do like chiropractic work, adjustments to help them. Psychologists, just different programs to offer food sources, sensory items, understanding like sensory avoidant and sensory seeking to know like, oh no, it's this. He's really more sensory seeking. Just a place to get away. And then a place for parents because we lose our minds sometimes.
Yeah.
When you don't have a lot of support and you have special needs children, you feel alone sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you can have great friends. I have great, amazing friends.
Correct.
But if you don't have that lifestyle, like you're not living that life like me who has an autism, you don't understand that.
Right.
Like I even had a friend who for a minute I was feeling a way about her because I'm like, you're supposed to be like my best friend. Like why you don't ever help?
Yeah.
You see me struggling, but you're never helping. You know, it's kind of like, oh, okay, girl, I hope it works out. And she told me, but that didn't happen until I was honest about it. She told me, like, I honestly was just scared. Like, it just seemed like too much to handle.
Wow.
So I didn't want to take that on because I just didn't know how to navigate it. And that's like, instead of walking around with a chip on my shoulder, it's like, you need to be educated.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't know. So it's like that realm of the unknown that kind of doesn't allow you to support the people you love like you want to. I think there's so many people out here who want to support the people that they love. They just don't know how to do it.
Yes.
So in that space that I want to create that for parents and then also for the people who want to help.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
exactly.
like, hey, let me show you how you can really support. This is not, you don't have to be scared of this. This is what we need. And then understand sometimes if I'm MIA for a month, like it's been a rough month.
Yeah.
It's not just because of you. I got to hyper focus on what's going on here. Because as kids grow, regular children grow, or what is it? Neurotypical children grow.
Yeah.
If they hit puberty, they start to lose their mind. Once they hit 8 years old, they're losing their mind. Once you do terrible twos, they're losing their mind. Like there's all these points of growth just in a child who's neurotypical. Imagine one that's neurodivergent.
Exactly.
You used to like this yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you only want to eat oatmeal every day?
Yeah.
That's it. No more pepper jack cheese, because that's my house. Like, you only had 2 foods, sir, and I'm already putting protein powder and anything I could find to keep you alive.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, true.
So, you know, it could be difficult.
Yeah. And that's also made me think, yes, of like, because there was also someone that reminded me of like the importance, like you said, of that nutrition now. You know what I'm saying? That's a big part of the wellness as well. And it's made me think, so yeah, hey you, Tanisha, because you be out here going into schools, like educating on those things.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, see, you're making me think of a lot of different people. But like you said, that's that network that keeps getting built. That's why I also love, like you said, I also love having this platform where I can bring people like yourself. Because I was like, because that was the whole
even
point.
Connect with her, you know?
Yeah, no, but for real though, that's what I was thinking. That's why I was like, yeah, we might have to, we gonna set that up.
Okay.
But also that's what it was. Like when we were even having those conversations, that was the thing. We like clicked on so many things because we was like, oh yeah, it's like with those passions and all those different, but I love it because what's driving you at the end of the day is wanting better. You know what I'm saying? For something that started personally for you that you would love to be able to now give to other children as well and parents, which I love. But I love that piece about also providing space for those who don't know how to show up or what to contribute. Like helping them so that they can, giving them tools so they can do it. So I like love that there's like, those are all the things you're considering.
Yeah.
You know,
because it's got to be well-rounded.
Right.
Right. Like there's no one piece of wellness. Like you can't just be physically in shape and not emotionally in shape.
Yeah.
Or spiritually in shape and not physically in shape. Like you can't be your best self, put it that way, if you don't have all those key components working together. You know, like with only your hand works, but your foot doesn't work. Your hand can't do what your foot does. So I mean, thanks, hand, but you know, you need your foot to work.
I still need this.
Like I need all of it to work together. So that's what I think people sometimes, you know, they miss that point, and that's what makes it difficult to navigate, and that's what makes relationships difficult to navigate. And I think we can do anything together, but that comes with communication, just understanding. Yes, like I don't have 3 girls, but I can empathize with what it would be like.
There's definitely still opportunities, for like that understanding to come in, like that commonality to come in, like we can know, but we can also respect the parts that we don't know and to help us to educate each other more.
Right? Because then if I have another, you know, so why? My daughter's only 4, so, but you got older kid, I can call you like, so now she is doing.
Yeah, please
and
let me
you'll
know.
be like,
right.
Girl, let me tell you when this happened to me. This is what it was. You know what I mean? And I can go, okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Right. Yes, exactly.
You
True
know?
that. And that's literally, and that's also why I'm like, you're perfect for this whole like, take me to school, put me on type of thing. Because just teach me a little science and why not? You know what I mean?
I'm here for it all.
Yeah,
yes, absolutely.
exactly.
Each other. That's a support.
Yeah. No, and that's what's needed. And then, so the only other thing I was curious about was, so of course, faith is obviously a big thing for you. So is wellness. Like, was there certain things that introduced you to both of those things? Was
My mother is, she was a personal trainer.
Okay.
Well, she still is if she wanted to, but
Yeah, exactly.
because she is a mom for real.
Right.
But
Let's go.
just growing up in a household like that, honestly,
Yes.
everyone was athletes. Like everybody. My dad pole vaulted, and my mom ran
Wow.
track. All of them were still athletes. My
Dope.
mom was like an aerobics teacher on the side when she was like a stay-at-home mom, and it's just
Jeez.
always put that. We were
Yep.
selling like unity knots in school for like Black History Month that we would make. Like she even put that little bit of like having your own business
Yes.
into me. And then at like 13, 14, I started braiding hair.
Right.
Like I never worked at McDonald's like the rest of the people in high school and stuff because I was braiding hair and making a lot of money doing it.
Yeah.
And so that showed me
Yes.
that my gifts will make way for me.
Let's go.
So that helped to implant that. Like, you got gifts, girl, and these gifts will pay you.
Let's go.
And as long as your gifts are being used in a good way, because
Yep.
God never takes your gifts away, but he magnifies them when they're working for him.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
You know, that's like that round table talk. I don't know if you've seen the memes when the girls are like, yeah. That was a
That's
good
so
one.
good,
That was
so
a
good,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, that was another one.
So
I was like,
that
but
is-
it's true.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. See? And then you got to be
Yeah.
poised. You got to put yourself in position, you know what I'm saying, to have that happen and then know what to do when it gets magnified and be able to do that.
So it
because,
started with her for sure.
yeah, okay.
For sure. I mean, she's the one that made me hate turkey because it was turkey a lot at home.
Yes.
We're going to do turkey, not beef. I'm like, I don't want to see another turkey.
Exactly.
I don't even serve turkey at Thanksgiving, Mom.
Yeah.
But
Right. Right. I'm sorry, but yes.
but that healthy
Yes.
being aware,
Yes.
understanding your body is a temple.
Right.
You know, wanting to do the best by it that you can and what season, and that varies in different seasons.
Correct.
Like sometimes you're gonna be skinny and you're gonna have that 6-pack, and then you're gonna have 3 kids and you're gonna be walking around with a scarf on for 6 months to just
Yep.
keep them alive.
Yep.
It's still thriving in that space.
Absolutely.
So like give yourself some grace there. But you know. Yeah.
But that seed was definitely planted with you early on.
Oh, yeah,
that's dope.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now you're growing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
giving
if-
it to the kids, you know?
Exactly, giving it back. And so with that, I almost say the only other thing I gotta ask you is that, so if you had advice for other folks, you know, starting off, I know you want to eventually become a warehouse of advice and
I do.
resource.
I would love to, right?
Yes. But is there any advice that you would give for people, you know, navigating things you're navigating as well?
I would say kill cultures. Kill culture's idea of success for
Okay.
yourself first. I'm always going to advocate following Jesus because that's what I believe. But I think that has to be your starting point of like, what am I here to do for other people?
Correct.
It can't be just, I can't wait to drive the Bentley and have the house on the hill, because you see millionaires kill themselves every day.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not going to remember. I mean, like, not to be funny, but like certain people outside of what they did at that particular time. You know what I mean? They're not leaving a legacy which feeds the generations to come. So I think my advice would be like, kill culture's perception of what success is and determine what that looks like for you based off of what your moral code and what you want out of life to be. So if I want to change people's lives or people's minds as far as wellness, put it, you know, circle your growth or like your business savvy or whatever around that.
Right.
And even if it's not like, oh, but it's not making me $1 million, it doesn't matter because the vision and the purpose is bigger than the dollar. I feel like these days, all people care about is money and prestige.
Yeah.
They want to be on the spotlight. And I don't think that should be the main objective.
Right. Or the driving force.
It shouldn't be.
Right.
It just really shouldn't. And I can understand wanting to be larger to expand for people to learn. That's different.
Right.
But then not just for me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at
Yeah.
me. Look at me. You know, look at me. Look at my Bentley. Look at my.
Yeah.
Because you see that all day on social media. And
You do.
you even see people who started out with a good idea, with good intentions,
Correct.
make it, and then they start to lose themselves. And it's
Right.
like so ugly. And I hate to see that for people because it's a game changer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that would be my
and
advice.
keeping that. Oh yes,
Yeah.
and that's a gem. So we ain't gonna mess that up. That's so
Yeah.
good that we gotta use that. So yes, no, but I love that,
Thank
and I
you.
appreciate it. But so because of that, if anybody wanted to connect with you, how can they find you?
You can find me. So Stephany, Stephany .MARSIA on IG. You can find me that way.
Yes.
Or you can do Stephany, what is it? Stephany Marcier Beauty Expert, spelled just like the IG but no dot, at gmail.com. You can find me that way. And then the same as the website is stephanymarcier.com. So if you're looking for services, you can just do that through the website.
Yep.
You can also send me a DM. If you go through the website, it comes straight to my phone anyway. So,
Hey.
it all works.
Right.
You
So,
know,
yeah, there's one way or another you're going to find her. You know what I'm saying? Type
Find me,
in.
please,
Exactly.
please find me. Google me. You'll find me.
Yes, exactly.
And that's Stephany Marcier Beauty and Aesthetics is the business name. So if
There
you
you go.
Google that, you will find me easily.
Exactly. It's going to come up.
Yep.
Yes. So very
Yeah.
good. So thank you, of course.
Oh,
Thank you so
thank
much for
you.
absolutely for coming on. But y'all,
I
thank y'all.
appreciate it.
Yes.
And it was such a good time.
I'm
Thank
glad.
you.
Yeah, yay. So I'm glad. Now I'm glad we can make this happen for sure. And y'all, I hope y'all got something out of it because I did. So
hope
like
so,
if
too.
anything, for
Yeah.
real. But if anything like resonated with you, you know what I'm saying, or like made you think, whatever, or made you want to reach out to Stephany, please
And please,
do.
if you want to reach out, even just to talk, you got a
Right.
special needs baby, you
Right.
need to support. I love that. I'm here. It's
Exactly.
do it. Just do it.
Yeah, build your community up,
Yeah,
y'all, for
just
real.
do it.
Exactly. So good. So please do that. Feel encouraged. And as always, thank y'all so much for tuning in, you know what I'm saying, supporting us. And so we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep talking about our feelings, keep getting schooled, and do it again on another Feel Good Friday. So thank y'all.